Good afternoon from Little Creek Bee Ranch. I wanted to share with you an important lesson I learned a long time ago. This is something you might want to pay attention to. What you're looking at here is a medium box, colony number 19, and they have succumbed to the cold weather. We call it a dead out, and then we have another hive body, 94, that's succumbed to the dead out, or succumbed to cold weather as a dead out. Nobody likes bees dying, and we do all we can to avoid that, but sometimes that happens. And the greater question is, how do you bounce back after some losses? And that's why we're passionate about teaching sustainable closed-loop beekeeping, that you can replace and replenish your losses in spring and early summer, various techniques. But you're looking at a jar that has just isopropyl alcohol, the shine off of it, and it's got some queens, some dead queens inside. I save all the dead queens I come around find. I don't throw them out. That's queen lure, and I bottle those in little bottles with eyedroppers and sell them for $20 a bottle. You can just drop a few drops on a cotton ball, the alcohol evaporates and leaves the queen pheromone behind. But how do we do that? Well, let's go over here. I'll set the jar to the side. That's a big one. We're not going to dig down in that one, but this is an easy one. And if you look, when you see bees, I don't know if you can see them very well, packed in between the frames like that, yeah, they're goners, and that's sad. Even though they had a full box of honey, had a full box of medium honey above them, they still can pass away, see? Okay, so I pull the frame up. Let's see what I have. See those bees? Now I'm only one person here today, so I'm holding the iPad in my left hand and using the right hand, but later I will flip all these bees off into that lid at the bottom and get as many bees off as I can, and I will fish through those and look for the queen. Now, how in the world do you find a queen in that mass of bees? Well, her legs are usually covered with gold hairs, and she stands out. She stands out from the others. There's nothing on that side. Okay, so I'm going to lay it over this way. And most beekeepers have just chunked the whole group of bees out. If they're clustered in like this, I'll do that. There's some bees on that side. So let's separate this frame. And I will take the time. Now what I'm doing is I'm after the queen, because I can toss her in my little jar there and save her for queen lure. And there's a mass of bees. Now here's the hard part for me. No, I don't like bees dying, but this was a great group. That's what really stinks, is I knew the characteristics of this group, and it really, really just hurts your heart. So I'm just real passionate about developing bees. Is that her? I'm sorry, I'm looking. Sorry. That's her right there. Do you see her? Where'd she go? There she is. Holy cow, do you see those gold legs? Let's see if I can. I'm almost certain that's her. Right there. Do you see her? I'm almost certain that's her. Let's pick it up. It is too. It is. Usually you have to fish around for a while. Now how do I know that? Those legs. Look at her thorax. See the thorax? And look at the hairs on her legs. See how long her legs are? And her abdomen, I know, is shrunken and curved. But look at her thorax. And then look at the gold on her legs. That's the queen. And she was right there in the middle of that cluster of bees. Now, normally, it's not that easy, okay? But your eyes, you pick up on the color. So I'm just going to set her down there. I'm going to come back to her in a little bit. Oh, there's the queen. Okay, so we got one for our jar. And we'll just put her in this jar of alcohol. Let's see if I can, yeah, I probably can't do it one-handed, but I'll do it later. Put her in that jar. Now, I still fish through the bees. I mean, I'm comfortable saying that's her, but they stand out. Golly darn. I try to take lemons and turn them into lemonade. Well, at least I get a queen to add to the jar. And we'll clean up some frames, inspect some frames, and all this other garbage that gets scraped off into our bucket, and we'll process some frames. But I have to back up and share, we're just really passionate about sustainable beekeeping. Not you know, it's not just splitting things out and slinging bees everywhere. It's how you do it. Here's something else I noticed. See all this brood comb? This is drone comb. Now those bees were probably fixing to swarm way back. So when you see a whole big old giant patch of drone comb, I think those are telltale signs that girls are wanting to swarm because they want to be sustainable by instinct. The other, in other words, they don't just need queen cells, they need drones too. The other thing I would stress is I know this colony and the colony over here were both honey bound. In other words, in the fall time, the girls get so sensitive they restrict the queen from laying, and they pack everything down here will be mostly honey. You'll have a lot of frames of packed honey and just a very small mitt of brood September time, and they won't make it. You got to really be on your game. Even I make mistakes. And so what you can do is you can take these frames right here, and the honey frames, they're brood honey, and go ahead and pull them out, interspace your other frames, and put in new frames in August time if you got enough, you know, nectar, not too dry, and get that queen to lay some more brood, because you're wanting winter bees started in August. And these bees are not winter bees. See that? Those bees are likely September, October bees. And now they dwindle down because the workers restrict the queen and they just backfill everything with honey. And they have a slow wintertime dwindle, bleed off of bees. And now that cluster gets so small in January. There you are. I know Don Kuchenmeister, the Fat Bee Man, has stressed this on some of his videos. Pull that brood honey out in August and let her lay some wintertime bees, and here 4 months down the road, 4 or 5 months down the road, here's the result of not doing that. So even I had to be more diligent to go in there in August and pull out some frames of brood honey and get that queen to expand and lay some more eggs. I got to think 4 or 5 months down the road. Okay, that's, you know, probably hard to explain. It's easier to watch somebody do it. But anyway, if you have a dead out, take the time and find the queen. I think I'm almost certain that's the queen. It sure looks like her to me. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera. The gold legs, big long body. That looks like a queen to me, and a thorax. So I can turn her over. Looks like a queen to me. Yep, gold legs. I call that a queen. And we'll dig through there. And we'll still look, just kind of, I inspect, you know, I'm more kind of like a Sherlock Holmes, kind of, now what happened here? I want to know myself. I know we starved out and died, but they had a whole box of Illinois honey above them, okay? They had a box of medium honey above them. So just because they have honey up top, I don't mean they're not going to die. You got to pay attention. Okay, so just remember, take the time, dig through there, see if you can find the queen. You can put her in a jar, queen lure later. Also, you need to learn more about pulling late summer honey. some brood honey out, expand her nest, and think 4 or 5 months down the road. And maybe you can avoid this. See, something I got to work on too. So there, I hope those tips help somebody. Hey, have an awesome winter. Stay warm.